Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into something fascinating, the art of entertaining. We've pulled together a whole stack of sources, articles, expert guides, etiquette stuff, and our mission, basically to boil down the secrets to hosting a really sophisticated dinner party. We'll cover the key phrases, more advanced words, and, those crucial etiquette points you need.
Indeed. And what's so interesting, I think, is that hosting is so much more than just, the food on the plate. It's really about the whole experience you're creating, the atmosphere, the timing, how you welcome people, and yeah, even how you handle those little unexpected things that might pop up. We'll use these sources to guide you through it all, almost like a practice run for inviting people or making introductions, giving a toast, or say handling a dietary need.
Okay, so starting right at the beginning, you're thinking about having people over. Where do the sources say we should start? It sounds like good preparation is absolutely key, right?
Oh, absolutely. If you connect it to the bigger picture, it's all about laying that foundation, thinking carefully about who to invite, what you'll serve, the overall sort of flow of the evening.
Yeah.
And this brings up a really important point.
Hmm.
What's the theme or tone you're actually going for?
Right. Is it super formal?
Exactly. Are we talking place cards and multiple courses, or something a bit more relaxed, more intimate, maybe, a semi-formal dinner for 6 or 8 guests, something where you can easily manage any common dietary needs?
And for that planning part, our sources give some really useful phrases. Like you could say something like, I'm organizing a sit-down dinner next Saturday. Would you be interested in joining us? Simple, clear. Or to kind of manage expectations. The evening will be fairly casual, but I do want to make it special. That sets the scene nicely. And this is so important, to be thoughtful. Please let me know if you have any food allergies or restrictions. Asking up front.
Yeah, and that phrasing carries through to the invitation itself. Whether it's a text, an email, or, a proper card, the words should reflect the event. For something really formal, maybe. You are cordially invited to an evening of fine food and conversation at our home. But for more casual thing, we're having a few friends over for dinner this Friday and would love for you to join. Much warmer, less stuffy. And the sources also mention RSVP etiquette. It's always good to confirm. So a polite follow-up like, just checking in to confirm if you'll be joining us on Saturday evening is perfectly fine. Helps you plan.
Okay, invites are out, the tone is sort of set. Now for the fun part, maybe. Transforming the space, choosing the menu. How do we make those elements really, work together?
Well, the key concept here is creating a warm ambiance. And look, you don't need a palace. No chandeliers required. It's more about those thoughtful touches. They show you care, you've paid attention. Think about low, warm lighting, maybe some soft background music. Jazz works well. Keep the table clean, uncluttered, maybe a few fresh flowers or some candles. These things aren't just pretty. They genuinely help put guests at ease. They build connection.
And the food, I noticed a really strong rule of thumb coming through in the sources. Basically, choose dishes you've actually made before. Don't experiment on your guests.
Exactly. And it's not just about preventing a kitchen disaster, though. That's obviously a bonus. What the sources really get at is, well, it frees up your headspace if you're not stressing about whether the souffle will rise.
Which it probably won't if it's your first time.
Right. Then you can actually be present with your guests. And that presence, that ability to connect and chat and relax, that becomes the real focus. It shifts the emphasis from like a culinary performance to actually fostering those connections. And that feeling, that's the true culinary centerpiece, the whole
Hmm.
experience. Plan for balance, an appetizer, a main dish, maybe a side or two,
Mm.
and dessert. One source gave a great example. I've planned a seasonal menu with mostly Mediterranean flavors. Nice theme. The main course will be roasted chicken with lemon and herbs, paired with a wild rice pilaf. Dessert is a light panna cotta with berry compote. See? Cohesive, appealing, and probably manageable for the host.
Okay, so planning's done, the scene is set, food's under control, then the doorbell rings, that moment.
Mm.
How do you make people feel instantly welcome, totally at ease?
That initial greeting, it absolutely sets the tone for their whole evening. Open the door with a real smile. Take their coat straight away. Offer them a drink immediately. It's a simple sequence, but it signals welcome and care. It builds that warm ambiance right away. And for introductions, the advice is to use short, positive descriptions, things that help break the ice.
Give us an example.
Sure, like, Daniel, this is Clara. She's a graphic designer, and she loves French cinema.
Clara, this is Daniel. He's a food blogger, maybe our resident wine expert tonight.
It gives them something to talk about right away, a starting point. Oh, and if someone's late, just greet them warmly, help them settle in quickly, don't make a big deal of it.
That's good advice. Breaking the ice with intros helps. But what if the conversation hits a lull later on? What are some good conversation starters a host can keep in their back pocket?
Yeah, lulls happen. Keep it light. The sources suggest easy, open-ended questions. Things like, has anyone seen any good films lately? Or, a bit more imaginative, if you could travel anywhere next month, where would you go? They're easy for anyone to answer. The sources are also pretty clear. Maybe steer clear of politics or really heavy debates, unless you know your group is okay with that. And remember, hosting isn't just talking, it's listening. Actively listen, nod, smile, ask follow-up questions. Show you're engaged.
This brings us back to something we touched on earlier, dietary accommodation. We've asked in advance, hopefully, but what if it comes up unexpectedly, or you, or forgot?
Right? Ideally, you ask when you invite. So if someone says they're vegan, you can say confidently when they arrive, oh, great, you're here. I prepared a special dish just for you, roasted cauliflower steaks with chimichurri. Shows you listened.
Ah.
But look, mistakes happen. If you did forget or something new comes up, honesty is best. Just say, oh, goodness, I'm so sorry I overlooked that. Let me see what I can quickly prepare that you can enjoy.
Hmm.
The key phrase here is handle with poise. Just be gracious, make sure they feel cared for, don't make a fuss.
Okay, moving into the meal itself. People are seated. What about the etiquette of actually serving the food?
One simple, really effective tip from the sources. Serve your guests before you serve yourself. It's a small thing, but it signals graciousness, putting them first. If it's buffet style, just briefly explain how it works, where to start, what's what, puts people at ease. And during the meal, check in gently. Offer more food or drink. Simple things like, can I offer you some more salad? Or would you care for another glass of wine? Polite, not pushy. Now, what's really interesting is how the sources talk about handling things when they go a bit wrong.
Like you burnt the potatoes. Happens to the best of us.
Exactly. And the advice is, again, handle with poise. The real art of entertaining isn't about flawless execution. It's about grace. So burnt potatoes, smile, maybe acknowledge it lightly and move on. Or even embrace it with a bit of humor. Well, dinner is slightly rustic tonight, authentically made with love. Sometimes those little imperfections actually make the evening more relaxed, more human, turns a mishap into a shared moment.
I like that. And then often towards the end of the meal, there's the toast. The sources suggest keeping it short and sweet, right?
Yeah, definitely. A short, sincere toast is almost always welcome. Doesn't need to be a long speech. The structure is pretty simple. Greet everyone briefly, express genuine gratitude for them being there, and then raise your glass with a simple, cheerful wish. It's about celebrating the moment, toasting to friendship.
Could you give an example?
Sure, something like, I'm just so grateful to have all of you here tonight. It means a lot. Let's enjoy the food, the laughter, and this lovely evening together. Cheers. Short, heartfelt, inclusive. Oh, and another tip, particularly in English-speaking cultures, try to make eye contact with people as you toast. It adds sincerity, really helps connect.
Okay, so the meal's wrapping up, conversation is winding down naturally. How do you gently signal it's nearing the end without making anyone feel like you're kicking them out? It's about continuing to host with grace, isn't it?
It absolutely is, right to the very end. You can use gentle cues, offering, can I get anyone one last coffee or tea before you head out? That often signals things are drawing to a close, or simply express your thanks again. I'm so glad you could all come. Thank you for making tonight so special. It's warm, appreciative, but also subtly indicates the evening is concluding. The goal is they leave feeling warm and appreciated, not rushed.
You know, this deep dive really does show that hosting is, well, it's an art form. And like any art, it probably takes practice. But it's also clear how learning these skills and this kind of nuanced English vocabulary we've talked about can build real confidence.
Exactly. And please remember, it's truly not about perfection. It's not about having the fanciest food or the most expensive wine. It is fundamentally about connection. That's the core of it. If we connect this to the bigger picture, getting comfortable with these aspects of hosting, of conversation, in English, it's not just about throwing a dinner party. It's really about building your confidence to connect with people on a deeper level, to foster relationships, and you could apply these skills in so many other parts of your life, work, socializing, everything.
So we really encourage you to take these ideas, these phrases, these little tips, and try them out, whether you're planning your own get-together, or maybe you're a guest at one soon, or even just in everyday chats. Until next time, we hope you feel a little more ready to, well, raise your glass and enjoy the art of connecting.